What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. Um, this episode is going to be about uh, a podcast I saw today. It's the Joe Rogan Experience, and it was Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, and it was very interesting. I woke up this morning and I decided to watch this video, and I heard a lot about it. It was filmed in September, in September. I believe it was September 6th, and it hit on a lot of interesting things that I wanted to share. So I decided to write down a few notes and share it with you. Share some things I've learned with you. So Joe Rogan is, he has a podcast, and he's known for being the host of Fear Factor back in the day. He's also a commentator in MMA, and he's probably involved in a bunch of other stuff, but that's something that I know of. And Elon Musk is very influential. I think he's the head of SpaceX and Tesla. Yeah, Tesla, SpaceX, and a few other things. And pretty much the interview started with them talking about LA traffic and how he's building a tunnel to kind of like eliminate the LA traffic, or at least make it better, and stuff like that. So that's how the podcast started, and they were talking about how he got the permits and stuff, but he started out with digging just a pit, and then it went on, and now it's becoming a tunnel, and he's trying to improve LA traffic because that's where he lives, and actually that's where they film the podcast too, I believe. And so it was very interesting. So I really learned a lot. It was about 2.5 hours, something like that, and I watched it all just because I was interested. And it started out really serious, about a lot of serious topics, and then it went on to other things like what he's working on now and stuff like that, and to improve like the Tesla car and a bunch of other stuff. But let's start with app. So after they talked about the tunnel, they talked about AI, which is artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is becoming very popular nowadays, and it's improving rapidly, and we're gonna see a lot of it in the future, and that's what they were hitting on, because it's inevitable. At this point, we're gonna see it. They already have AI bots debating. If you guys haven't seen that video, that freaked me out a year ago. AI bots debating each other. Just type that in on YouTube. AI bots debate, and you'll see two bots, a female-looking one and a male-looking one, and they debate each other, and it was real freaky, real freaky. So I saw that about a year ago. I think that came out a year ago, and so that's what piqued my interest for this podcast that I saw this morning. And yeah, so they had a big discussion with AI and how it's the future, but is it going to be good or bad or in the middle? It's very unpredictable, and I mean, it could be good for certain things, but then in other things bad, and pretty much they were talking about how humans will not be able to control it because they're going to learn so much at a rapid speed and have so much information that eventually it's going to be like how we view chimps or something. We will become the chimps in a sense. And it's really interesting. You should everyone should watch it. Go on YouTube and type in Joe Rogan Experience, Elon Musk, and just really I would like to hear your guys' opinions on it, like with comments or anything like that. Just you can message me. Just I want to know everyone's opinion on it, but I think it's they were hitting on some good points. So yeah, AI can be dangerous because it's uncontrollable, it's unpredictable, and that's kind of scary. I mean, he went on to go to say the things that they're working on now and developing, and it's pretty much a war for our minds in a sense. Eventually, he said we're gonna be able to be like a symbiote, or maybe that's not the right word. We're gonna be able to connect with this technology. So that scares me a little bit, because now it's like going into a whole nother subject with morals and all that. But he said, find a system with information. I mean, we're feeding it all. We're feeding all the information. I'm getting a call right now. So we're feeding all the information to, like Google, for instance. We feed it all the questions and answers and everything, and it's kind of like AI in a sense, like that. It's just a bunch of systems gathering a bunch of information. And he was talking about how Facebook does this, Instagram, and all that. And then they were touching about on topics such as like social media, how it's actually not that good for us, because we're always comparing our lives to other people's, and we get to pick and choose, like when we're happy to post a picture or video, but we don't see when we're down or have all these other emotions. So it makes it seem like someone's life is more interesting or better than it actually is, which I don't think is healthy. They were talking also earlier on. They were talking about how he developed like a flamethrowers, 20,000 units of flamethrowers, and he sold it, which was just because he does multiple things. And Joe Rogan was asking him how he has the time to run Tesla, SpaceX, and all these other businesses that he has, and have time to develop other things. Such as a flamethrower, or softwares, or whatever the case may be. But so one of the big conversations was that eventually the risks are humans are going to use AI as weapons, which is not good. I mean, we already use weapons for war and all that. So AI, it's gonna take it another step further, which I guess that's just human nature. So, but it's dangerous, and it's just you really have to watch the interview to understand a little bit of the skepticism I have for it, because I don't think it should get this far. Like, for instance, we're already slaves in a sense to our phones. So imagine having being able to actually be a part of this technology with our own organic body. It's kind of intense, and for me personally, I think it's immoral for me. But he was pretty much saying how this is going to be the future, and people are going to have access to be a part of this and become, in a sense, like a superhuman in a sense. It's pretty crazy, with giving us better cognitive abilities in our brain, and it's pretty scary stuff, actually. Pretty scary stuff. What else? I got some notes here. Oh yeah, he was saying how he went to Elon Musk went to Obama and congressmen and governors to warn them about AI and how it could be dangerous or a potential threat in the future. I meant sometimes, like a couple movies, like I don't know, like I, Robot or something, like when the robots, like there's certain movies where the robots like take over the creator, or try to take over humanity, which is, it's kind of scary. I mean, it's a movie until it actually happens. You know what I mean? And it's just it's pretty crazy stuff. Relation. Oh yeah, so he's the head of Tesla, and it's the company's named after Nikola Tesla, which was an inventor back in the day. I actually did an episode on him. He was very fascinating guy and inspirational innovator, which is I mean, the things he developed we're using today, which is it's good for us. Joe Rogan said, like, AI is like a genie in a bottle that you can't get back in, which is I kind of understand that, because it is. It's like, once it's out there, it's going to be too late to control. Once it's out there, there's no going back. So I think it's very crucial for people to start noticing things and asking questions and being a little bit more aware of the bigger picture, instead of what the media likes to show a lot, and distractions. This is actually our future. This is what's going to happen. AI is going to be a big part of it. I mean, just watching that YouTube video a year ago with the two AI bots debating each other was surreal for me, because I was like, man, I can't believe this is actually happening now. This was a year ago. So imagine how far they've come in just a year, and it's just going to keep progressing and progressing as time goes by. So two Elon Musk quotes that he said in this interview that I liked was, "I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right." I like that. And another one was, "If we're in a simulation, then the substrate of the simulation is probably boring." So that's another one I liked in the interview, what he said. Yeah, and then they touched upon, like, sometimes when you delete social media and, like, from your phone or something, you just feel better. It's just, you disconnect for a little bit, because everyone's so connected nowadays that sometimes we gotta disconnect and focus on what's important to us and not worry about what other people are doing. And I think that's a big deal, to start focusing on yourself and don't worry about what other people are doing, and and ultimately you'll be happier. Let's see what else I got here. So he was talking about parts of the brain, such as the cortex, is the service to the limbic system, and the cortex tries to make the limbic system happy. So so this thing will allow you to have superhuman cognitive abilities, like with parts of the brain and stuff. So it's pretty surreal stuff. And this is the part where I actually found where I found the interview to be the most interesting, was when Joe Rogan, or Elon Musk, said to Joe Rogan, he said, "Eventually you're going to be able to upload yourself onto a system when your biological self dies," which is pretty crazy. And that's when Joe Rogan said to pass him the whiskey, because things were getting a little surreal, because that's a lot of truth right there. And I mean, that's crazy. He's talking about in the future, when our physical bodies die, that we can upload into a system. That sounds like some Matrix stuff to me. It's scary stuff, but it's fascinating at the same time to learn all this stuff. And like, Elon Musk got in trouble, I think, because he smoked with Joe Rogan on the show, and that's crazy to me when people are focusing on that, or they drank a little bit of whiskey and smoked a little on the show, and people were making a big deal about that with Elon Musk. Yet they didn't hear the rest of or all that information that he gave that is going to be the future, which is way more important than the nonsense and sometimes the things that the media shows that are just distractions from reality and what's gonna be the future ultimately. So I would urge everybody to go on YouTube and watch this Joe Rogan episode with Elon Musk. It was very enlightening. It was I just had to share. I haven't done an episode in a while, and I felt like this was something I learned today that I needed to share with people, and just to study it themselves and form their own opinions and their own morals about if they think it's right or wrong. I think just like everything, there's pros and cons, and I just think there's more with this particular subject. I think there's more cons than pros, because it's pretty much taking away our humanity as people. In a sense, we're trying to become these so-called gods, which is, in my opinion, it's not normal. It's not normal, and it's not. We're gonna already relationships nowadays with social media and stuff they're like real relationships. At least this is what I see. Is there's no more like real relationships really with people. I mean, there are, but it's very rare. Like nowadays, I feel like people are more egotistical and about themselves because of social media and technology and a bunch of other things, when we really should be focusing on, like Elon Musk in the interview said, love is the answer. We should be focusing on love and just helping people and caring for people instead of being selfish and always, I know it's hard out there. Everybody's got bills. Everybody's got problems. But it's, fighting with each other is not going to help. And helping each other and communication is going to help the situation. So I think that's it. That's pretty much all my notes. Check to see if I missed anything. Yeah, so it's just not. Yeah, so he was pretty much, AI is part of the human limbic system. Cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. So it's going to be able to connect to the brain eventually, and that's crazy to me. That's it's abnormal and it's crazy to me, and I needed to. Sometimes people don't want to hear this. Everyone's got problems and bills to pay, but it's good to educate your mind to be ready for what's coming in the future, because this is coming. It's like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk said, it's inevitable. It's just how we perceive it and the intentions of eventually, when AI becomes so smart, the intentions of AI. Does it want to help humanity? Does it want to help? Does it want to harm humanity? You know what I mean? It's because eventually it's going to be out of human control, which is what they're saying in the podcast, which is scary because you've seen movies like Terminator and stuff where machines rage against humanity and all this other stuff. So I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share some of the things I learned today, and I just really wanted to urge people to check out that YouTube video because it was interesting, and I think you'll learn a lot from that video just like I did. And also check out that AI debate video on YouTube, which I'm pretty sure you'll find interesting as well. Alright, well, everybody have a great night.